New York City subway system is the largest subway network in the United States and one of the most extensive systems in the world. This system can be daunting if you don't understand how it works or where you are going. The New York City subway is by far the fastest and most efficient way to get through the city quickly as it travels underground and avoids all vehicular and pedestrian traffic. The purpose of this video is to teach you how to read the subway map so that you can be a master at knowing exactly where you are going while in New York. The map can be complex, so this video is designed to walk you through all of the nuances to understand exactly what certain items on the map represent, so that you can travel throughout the system with ease. This is the entire map. As you can see, the city is divided into 5 boroughs. These include Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, the Bronx, and Staten Island. Each borough has a unique feel and each one is connected to the overall system. Almost every line, with the exception of one, end up in Manhattan, which is the most densely populated and famous of the boroughs. Let's first take a look at the legend. This legend can be used to understand what all of the symbology on the map represents. Firstly, the New York City subway operates 24 hours a day, so you can get from one point of the system to any other point at any time of the day, 24 hours a day, 365 days per year. But you must understand that some lines do not operate at all times. In this situation, you may have to use a local line and connect at various points, but this usually only happens during the late night hours, which is considered midnight to 6 a.m. The New York City subway has a policy that no one should ever have to wait more than 20 minutes for any bus or subway. However, unless you are taking the system at very odd hours, you will likely not wait more than 1 to 10 minutes. So this section is the most important part of the legend. We're going to go in a clockwise fashion to understand every single part of this legend. So the first part here is local service only. So local service means that the train line, the subway that you're on, stops at every stop along the line, right? So if there is a black colored dot, that means that all local trains stop at this station. Next, we have the white colored dots. These mean that all trains stop. This includes local and express trains. So local trains stop at every stop and express trains stop only at the white colored dots. So if you're on an express train, it will not stop at the black colored stations, only the white colored stations. So keep that in mind when you're choosing which train you're on within the line. The next part we're going to explore is the free subway transfer. So if you're looking at the map and you see that there are 2 stations connected with a black line, that indicates that you can transfer from this line to this line, right? So you can transfer for free from one line to another. So you do this in the situation when the train line that you are on does not go to your destination. So you may have to transfer to another train. So you don't have to walk out onto the street and go into a new station. You can transfer directly within that same station. So you may have to go up escalators or some stairs or down some stairs. Just follow the signs when you're there and it'll take you to the next train. The next thing to know is the free out-of-system subway transfer. This is very rare. There's only like 1 or 2 stations that have this, but this means that you have to transfer outside of the subway. So you actually have to go out onto the street and go into a new station, and you don't have to pay again. It'll like recognize that you were on the other train. This is very rare. There's only like 1 or 2 stations in Manhattan that have this, so you can almost disregard this. The next thing to know is the bus to airport line. So if you see this dotted line on the map, that means that it is a bus that connects you to the airport. So if you're coming from LaGuardia or JFK, you want to take a look at this and see what buses will take you to the subway station. The one below this is the commuter rail service. So this indicates, if you see this kind of railroad-like line with a square dot, this means that you can connect to commuter rail service. So this is like Metro North. This will take you to Westchester or the Long Island Railroad, which will take you out to Long Island. So it's a regional rail. It's not part of the subway system. So if you see a line that is not bold, that means that it has limited or weekday only service. So that means that it doesn't run all day, 7 days a week. Now, if you see a station name that has a bold lettering, that means that it has all-day service 7 days a week. If you see a station that has this little star in it, that means that there's a police station there, so the MTA police is present there, or even the NYPD. And then if you see the airport symbol with the little plane, it's yellow and black, that means that it's the bus or air train to the airport. So at that station, you can get to the airport. If you see a long-term elevator outage, you'll kind of see this exclamation point here. And then finally, if you see a wheelchair, that means that it is an accessible station. So that means that you can get to it easily by wheelchair. So let's do an example. Say I wanted to come down here in Brooklyn from Prospect Avenue on the R train, and I wanted to end up at West 4th Street, Washington Square in Manhattan. So how would I get there? So what I would do is, since this is a local only station, only the R train stops here. So I'd have to get on the R train. So I would take the R train up to Atlantic Barclays Center, and I would transfer to the D train or the F train, both of them go there, and I would take that to West 4th Street, Washington Square. So I would go up all these stations, Prospect Avenue, 4th Avenue, Union Street, and then end up at Atlantic Barclays Center, switch to the D train within the station, see it has the line that indicates a free transfer, and I would take that all the way up to West 4th Street, Washington Square. Okay, let's do an easy one now. Say I want to go from South Ferry at the southern tip of Manhattan, and I want to end up at 8th Street, NYU. So since the stations are along the same line, I can just take this train all the way up. I'll pass all of the stations, Rector Street, Cortlandt Street, City Hall, Canal Street, Prince Street, and eventually end up at 8th Street, NYU. Okay, let's try one where we need to transfer from an express train to a local train because our stop is not covered by the express train. So, for example, say we want to travel to Houston Street on the 1 train, right? But we are on the 2 or 3 train coming from Atlantic Avenue, Barclays Center. So what we would have to do is we would have to continue along the line. So we go through Nevin Street, Clark Street, Wall Street, and eventually we'll end up at Chambers Street. Now, as you can see, the 2 and 3 that we're on doesn't go to Franklin Street, it doesn't go to Canal Street, it doesn't go to Houston Street, and it doesn't go further north to Christopher Street and Sheridan Square. So what does that mean? Well, what you would do is you take the express train as far as you can before you have to transfer to the local. So what I would do is I would take the express train to Chambers Street, and then I would get off the train and stay on the platform, and then I would usually right across, and then I would transfer to the 1 train, and then I would take that 3 stops up to Houston Street. Because if I stayed on the 2 or 3 train after Chambers Street, the next, you can't see it on this map, but the next stop is way further up north, so it'll essentially skip my stop. Okay, let's do one more because I want all of you to be an expert after this. So say you're staying in Brooklyn today. You don't want to go into the city, Manhattan, and you live over here at 15th Street, Prospect Park, and you're on the F or G line. And say you want to go meet your friend at High Street, which is in the Dumbo area of Brooklyn. So what you would do, you can take either the F or the G train. I would probably take the F. But you can also take the G. So if you take the F train, you'll cross all these lines. You'll go past 7th Avenue, 4th, Smith and 9th Street, Carroll Street, Bergen Street. And then here at J Street Metrotech, you would transfer to either the A or the C train and take that 1 stop to High Street. What you can also do if you happen to get on the G and that one came first, you can go past all those stations again, and then you take it to Hoyt Schermerhorn Street here. And then there you transfer to the A or C train, and then you take that past J Street Metrotech and then to High Street, and then you get off there. That one's a little more complex, but You get the idea. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Make sure you like, share this video, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We do lots of tours all over the US and the world. And make sure you leave a comment below. Let us know some of your tips for navigating the New York City subway map. Okay, guys, until next time, take care.